Okay. Welcome. Welcome, sisters. Let's see who is here. Welcome, welcome. Seeing where I'm going live. Okay, let's see who is watching. Let me know if you are here. Did someone recently say that it's Mercury retrograde? So it just took me almost 29 minutes to come on live, and every time I was coming live, Facebook was kicking me out for some reason. So whether you are watching live or watching the replay, I would love for you to feel welcome in this space today. I am joining here today to share with you some beautiful piece of my experience and shed some light on this quality of the sacred mushroom and why some women are really feeling called to experience that. So I'm going to once again quickly see. So if you are joining now or watching the replay, then let me know if you have been inclined to this mushroom, Amanita muscaria, this red and white forbidden mushroom. I would love to know from you. while I check my settings. Yep. Alrighty. So here we are, the sacred mushroom. So last week or earlier this week, I sent an email about how I was healed in my sleep, and after taking myself through Amanita Muscaria ceremony, a ritual, and that email sparked a lot of curiosity and a lot of questions. I got first of all, thank you for reading my emails. It feels really good and seen whenever I receive a response or you just write back whatever the email stirred in you. So I'm really grateful for being in I'm really grateful for you for being in my world. And as a result of this email, I got quite a few questions invoking curiosity and also sharing with me some potential dangers of it and all of that. And so it made sense to me to today show up in this video and share with you some of the this aspects of this particular mushroom, and why I started using it and why it is beneficial, right? And also a little bit background. So Amanita muscaria, this particular mushroom, which is the red and white, the poisonous, the forbidden, has been calling me since 2019, and I have been really reading about it, researching about it, doing my bit, to approach this plant medicine, and this has been my way. I am I'm a geek on one end. I need to know the science, the left brainer, and then I need to know the workings and then the ancient lineage, and like I have to combine all of this. So I started my research during that time in my life in 2019, and then in 2021 we were in India. I got the opportunity to experience this plant medicine by a local shaman there, and by the time I had read so many things about it and I had all the theoretical knowledge and I was so ready, like I really wanted it. And that shaman, that lady, she looked at me and she said, "You're not ready. I'm not going to give it to you." And that really disappointed me because I had traveled hundreds of kilometers. Took a plane, took a taxi ride, then took a train to just get to her. And then she says this. So it really made me upset, but my quest was just there, and it was just there, and I would have visions of me taking it, and I would have visions of me communing with this plant medicine. However, I had never done that in my personal life until last year when we got to Poland, the country, and I had forgotten about it. And then the land gave it to me. The autumn season came, and all I saw around in our forest land was plenty of Amanita muscaria, this gorgeous red, white, popping mushroom. And I was like, this is it. I had to source it myself. So I studied a little bit about it, and I was fortunate to meet some people who also gave a lot of guidance, some local people who gave a lot of guidance around it, and hence I could say that now I'm on the other side. So maybe you have only heard about it as this poisonous substance, like it's poison, do not touch it, it's gonna kill you. Or maybe you felt a pull towards this plant medicine but you don't know why. Or maybe you are into sacred feminine arts, like the ancient rituals, the wisdom traditions, and somehow you are curious to find out, like, what is the correlation? Is there a correlation, right? Or maybe you're just curious about plant medicine and not sure where to begin. Maybe you've never taken something beyond cacao, maybe, and you would like something gentle, which is inward focused rather than a full psychedelic journey and crazy ayahuasca journey kind of that, yeah, right? Beautiful. Those journeys are beautiful. But this Amanita muscaria, this mushroom, this is the scientific name of this mushroom. However, commonly it's known as Flyagaric. Okay, why fly? Because it makes you fly. But not in the real realm. I'm gonna get to it. So I want to share with you this about this particular Flyagaric history, her story, some correlation, because it has been often misunderstood, and it is a beautiful ally, right? Because it doesn't, and this is particularly a kind of mushroom that doesn't take you out of your body, but it brings you back into the deeper sense of it, right? And that's why in many contexts, in many ancient lineages, it is known as the medicine of the void. So it's a perfect plant ally. I would like to call it as an ally to work with your dark feminine, to work with your womb healing, to work with your feminine wounds, right? And somehow I have always felt this pull towards things that were forbidden. I don't know about you, but if something is forbidden, I need to figure out why is this forbidden, what's going on. There must be something or other than that, right? So if you're watching, I can see some people are watching right now. Please drop a hi or hello in the chat so that I know you are here, and I would love to interact with you. So in the modern world, we will see a lot of context to Flyagaric, right? It has been somehow distorted and brought into our modern lives. However, it's not completely disappeared. There are traces of it here and there, and we get to see it every time, right? So, for example, what? The whole concept and the Christmas tradition of Santa Claus and Christmas traditions, guess where it comes from? The ancient Siberian lineage who used to be devoting this Christmas time for Flyagaric. So that's hence the red and white outfit. It matches the exact colors of the Flyagaric, right? And then there's a concept of flying reindeer. Where does it come from? It comes from the folklore that in Siberian shamanism, the reindeers will eat this agaric and would fly and would leap really far under its effects, and hence the Flyagaric, hence the flying reindeer. There's also context around the chimney, where we've been told like the Santa Claus comes from the chimney. This was exactly how the shamans would enter the yurts. There used to be olden days, yurts, and they would enter through those chimneys. It was called the chimney of the descent, to deliver their healing. But that's not it. The whole concept of the gifts under Christmas tree. Flyagaric. Again, why? Because these particular mushrooms always grew during that season, during this winter solstice time, under the pine trees. And you would have to go under those pine trees and then just really look into the gift beneath the tree, right? And the gift was what? The Flyagaric. So there has been so many connotations that are in our, hey Eleni, that are in our modern day world, and it's really fascinating when you look at the connection to it. What else I can say? You can see the connotations of it in a Flyagaric in fairy tales, like in children's books, Alice in Wonderland, Snow White, the Smurfs, right? So many, and often it is shown as a portal to the other world. And for me, the connection was from the video game. I don't know, I grew up in the 80s and 90s, so Super Mario mushrooms. Have you ever played that game, Super Mario? It was when you got to catch those mushrooms, and then the mushrooms will give you power and new abilities. You'd get more points, right? Where else in the modern context it is in our wellness culture, you see during Christmas as well. You see it in the baubles in the Slavic nations. During Christmas, you put the Christmas baubles as those amanita muscaria, as the Flyagaric, and the concept of witch on a broomstick. Again, flying agaric. What else? Polka dots. Like the traditional polka dots are white and red. Where does it come from? So it is so interesting because there is a lot of presence of the symbolism of Flyagaric in our modern day world, yet we do not know as such. And just change seat. We do not know as such, but I'm going to share some of my research with you, which is going to be so interesting. I wish I had done a PowerPoint presentation, but that's fine. Let me first check if I'm for real live or not, because it took me literally 29 minutes to get online, and Elaine, yesterday you brought into my attention that we are under the Mercury retrograde, so well, let's hold on. So the her story of Flyagaric, I think the farthest notation of it is around some 10,000 BC, and you will look into there's many textbooks and researches done into the pre-Indo-European, like the old Europe, where the old Europe had women-centered spiritual cultures, which were literally revering the earth and everything around and on growing on the earth as potential allies for healing, transformation. And so Flyagaric was used for ritual healing, seasonal rites, and the red and white coloring of it was really a symbolism of blood and fertility and menstruation and then renewal, right? And so these old goddess cultures of old Europe practiced working with this plant as symbols connected to feminine cycles, intuition, the death, rebirth mysteries. And some of the pictures you can find online are the Siberian shaman. So these are also one of the oldest shamans. The earlier shamans were women. Now you wouldn't see as much of them, but we are coming back. Hey. So in many Siberian culture, women were shamans and midwives and dream walkers, and they would use Flyagaric for rites during the winter season, because guess what, nature always provides. When we lived in harmony with nature, we utilized everything that grew around us during the season, and we trusted and knew that it is for a reason, and hence it is for a reason that Flyagaric amanita, it grows during the winter years, during winter times. From October to January, February, you would see the growth of this particular mushroom, because that's when are the dark times, and that's when we get to work with this medicine of the void, right? And so those female Siberian shamans would use this Flyagaric to do ceremonies which were related to soul retrieval, also to heal womb. So they would consider more it as healing reproductive ailments, like reproductive organs, sorry, right? And then there are also contexts and research around the Nordic, the Viking, the Germanic traditions, where those women healers were known as the vulva, and these women healers will particularly use Flyagaric during the winter season, through rituals like chanting, drumming, to invoke and then go into dream states. This was part of their winter rites, right? And then And this was also very much part of the old European witchcraft healing. During the medieval times, these often women, they had the knowledge of working with herbs, working with mushrooms, working with all things that grew on earth, for their good, for healing pretty much, right? And this was also the reason that this wisdom was taken away. Like we all know about the witch hunts, right? Not because they were evil, but because they held really embodied wisdom and healing power that the patriarchy at the time, the church body at the time, did not want anymore to be noticed, practiced specifically. So witches were burnt. And we remember this in our cellular memory. We are talking about thousands of years prior to our existence, but we know how it feels when we talk about witches who are burnt. So in this medieval European continent, this was prevalent. There are also traces in Celtic lineage. The Druids, goddess Bridget is considered to be one of the goddesses working with Amanita as well, because again, her work was around those oak trees and everything that grew near those wells, those damp places, and this was one of the gifts, right? So in all of these traditions, women were the carriers and practitioners of this particular plant ally. And it is so fascinating, and I want to show you, okay, let me see if I'm still, yeah, and I want to show you this book. Like I have this beautiful book, right? And oh my god, it is filled with evidence after evidence after evidence after evidence. Like it's a very thick book. It's filled with resources and connection to the ancient lineage and this plant ally. And here's the thing, why was it even considered, right? Why was it even considered? Because this plant ally itself embodied a particular feminine symbolism. The red, the blood, the white, the purity, and the circular, yeah, like the top, the cap, the womb. And generally it is, and there is this texture that is hidden, which is the unconscious on the circular part. And here is the thing, interesting thing, when you work with this particular plant ally, the Flyagaric, you only use the top bit. We never use the stem. So you may see like stem and the flat red, or whatever the red and white, the circular bit is, that's what we all use for consumption. We never use the stem. And hence, for this reason, so those earth shamans, they knew what they were doing. But the good thing is that this particular mushroom is very different from the magic mushrooms, you know, the psilocybin. It's very different, because with the psilocybin, the magic mushrooms, it energizes us and you go into altered state and you have all those psychedelic vision and stuff like that. With Flyagaric, it's different. It's kind of like a very mellow sedation. It sedates your ego and it takes you into a total state of surrender. And it is deep. It works with your inner landscape. So the working of this plant ally is nothing exterior. It's like very inner, very inwards. It works with your inner landscape, and which is why it was used by those earth shamans since the beginning, for womb-based healing, for trauma release, for soul retrieval, literally. Right? And it was considered as one of those medicines to be used in our sleep, because sleep is where the magic begins, like where the magic happens, and your sleep literally becomes a ceremony. Your bed literally becomes an altar, and your body then becomes a portal, and in your sleep you have no resistance anymore. You are fully in this surrender mode, and you let this medicine work. Now why? And so this is why this medicine, this plant alai, is so unique, because it works during your sleep, right? And there are a lot of scientific researches around it, that why? Because it has particular chemicals and elements in it, the natural ones, that works on our it is called the GABA system. Okay, and this GABA system is related to lucid dreaming, deep rest, nervous system regulation. So let's say that, think of your brain as a busy city. Like your brain is a busy city, and a lot of activities are going on, a lot of thoughts and signals, right? Like all over the place. Your brain is a very heavy loaded active place with all circuits, neurons, light transmissions, blah blah blah. Yeah, and then it's like, and if you really look at the circuit of your brain, it may look like too many cars on the road, and there's traffic jam, and it's like just things are moving, and it's just so the GABA system is like a traffic controller, and it is a natural system that we have inside of us. And that's what happens when we do meditation, when we do nervous system regulation. It sends signal to your GABA system, which is like a traffic controller. It kind of like controls all the movements, puts things in relaxed state. It's like a chill out button for your brain. So that's what gets activated with this plant medicine. And then as a result of this, what happens is that in your sleep, many people receive downloads, physical healing sensations, sometimes spiritual interventions based on your intentions and whatever your body needs, right? So it happens in the dreams or right before waking. And this was my experience in my email that I shared, that it was almost so the night before, so it was during the new moon's dark moon, that I held myself into a ceremony, and I consumed Flyagaric, and I said my intentions, and I felt a bit of like heaviness in my body, and I went to sleep. When I went to sleep, I said my prayers, whatever my intention was, and I slept. And I had totally surrendered, and I woke up at 7 o'clock with such deep pain in my body. It was as if someone was literally like pulling something out of my stomach. It was really painful, and it was so painful that I literally just woke up. Like I just jumped up, and I looked next to myself. I looked at my husband, and he's just sleeping peacefully, and I was like, ooh, the pain, oh goodness. And there it was, like within 1 second it was gone, like as if nothing had happened. And I just went back to sleep. Right, so when I woke up, I realized that I had some healing that happened to me in my womb. I felt it. And again, this is a knowing that you know, nobody can like prove. How do you prove that trauma is gone from your womb, right? But if you're like me and the women that I am surrounded with and work with, you feel it, you intuit it, you just know it, right? So this is the working of this beautiful plant medicine, right? It works in the space in between the waking and the dreaming, and it does its work. Like you literally have to do nothing other than consumption and ceremonially consumption, I would say. And this is so yeah, ceremonially consumption, because there is a way to consume it. And what happens is that during this journey, you may not feel anything. You may sleep, you may have some dreams, or maybe you will have no dreams, and it's going to be like total silence, like deep rest, like you went into some darkness and then you woke up and you're like, that was a kind of sleep that I don't usually have. Yeah. Sometimes you will have physical sensations, right? Like movement in the womb or spine. Sometimes you will feel like you were held in a cosmic womb. Sometimes you will feel like you were visited by your guardians, your allies, and whatever your intention was. So I've experienced all of these things. So it is so important to do this work ceremonially to really feel the healing effects. And I feel like as women, more and more women, we are called to the ancient ways, the ancient feminine lineages, and this particular plant ally is one big part of it, right? And there is a way to prepare it. There is a way to prepare it, and again, through experience, I have come to understand it. And because there's also the truth that this particular mushroom, this Flyagaric, it contains a very high level of something called ibotenic acid. Ibotenic acid is something that, because it has such strong levels, if you do not prepare it well and you consume it, it may cause nausea, vomiting, all sorts of upset stomach. You don't want those experiences. And so many people who don't know how to prepare it, they kind of encounter this. Sometimes if you just pick it up right and eat it raw right away, you may have really bad time in your stomach, right? So there is a way to prepare it. And when you look into the ancient traditions, they only use the top part. So as I said, like the top part, that is the red part, the white stem, it's not used, right? So there is a way to prepare it, and there is a way to consume it, and it is sacred, and it is so effortless. I feel like us busy women, so let me know if you are one of them or not. I feel like us busy women, we sometimes we really find it hard to just stop the struggle, like stop our minds. And so this one particular plant ally really helps us to bypass whatever is going on in our heads, whatever ideas we have about us, our life, our worth, our problems, our emotional wounds. Like, we can work with it on a deeper level by just consuming it and ceremonially, and then going to sleep, because at the end of the day we all go to sleep. So, and hence this is called the medicine of the void. It's particularly good to work in the seasonal time, and this is exactly what we will be doing inside our dark feminine medicine retreat, which is happening in the Samhain time. Samhain time is the last weekend of October, and this is particularly the time where this plant ally is in its full blossom. Guess what? Nature provides exactly what is required during that time of the year, right? And this is the time also, in all traditions, we work with ancestral lineage of power. We get to do womb wisdom work, womb healing work. And the way we will be doing it is through sacred feminine ceremonies in a beautiful sisterhood. So if you feel like there are emotions of grief or anger, or some past trauma, or some karmic baggage, or if you're interested in womb healing, pelvic healing, or even just nervous system reset, or oftentimes some deep feminine reclamation through dream work. These are the various reasons why or how you can use the plant ally Amanita muscaria, Flyagaric. And we will be doing this work inside the Dark Feminine Medicine Retreat. For me, particularly, that I have been offering Dark Feminine retreats since 2017. It has really evolved throughout its time, and this is the first time I am introducing plant ally, and this particular one because she has been working with me for a really long time, almost now. And now is the time I'm ready to offer it to participants in a beautiful sacred way. and hence there's the invitation open for you. If your body is saying yes, then I would love to have you in our space together. We have few spots remaining. This retreat is also happening in Poland, in a very beautiful woodland, and the Flyagaric are sourced locally and of really high quality. We will have two such ceremonies, because that's perfect. Two is just perfect. We will be together for 6 days, and we will be working with the dark goddess archetypes of Kalima as well as Mary Magdalene, and we're going to infuse various other ceremonies, rites of passages, including this plant ally as well as blue lotus. So in the coming days, I'm going to do something. I'm going to share more about blue lotus. But today was so important for me to share about Flyagaric, because I got so many questions, and someone wrote to me saying that that's not safe. You may die. No, it's been deemed forbidden. Now you know why. There are so many natural gifts that have been deemed forbidden by the patriarchy. But yet it lives in our modern environment here and there, right? So I hope I'm invoking some curiosity in you to just feel into, because this is what the work of the feminine is, to really uncover those knots that we've been given, especially if you are called to work with nature, earth, right? Because nature provides, and this is my deepest belief. Nature always provides, right? So if you have any questions, then wherever you're watching the replay, ask me away, and I am going to enlighten you with a response. If you are interested in the Dark Feminine Retreat, I highly recommend you reach out to me, and there is an application process. I take all your details. We provide a lot of safety, as well as it's literally like it's so beautiful. I don't know what I want to say. Maybe if you want, I'll connect you to past participants to so that they get to share with you that this is literally coming home to not just to yourself, but being in sacred sisterhood ceremonially, away from your daily chores, and doing this work for yourself. You may think, what the hell, do I need this work? But on the contrary, when you leave and get back to your world benefits through you, through your presence, through your enriched presence. And that's my intention for every single participant joining this time as well. And I would love to see you. So if this is something that you are interested in, write to me. Dark Feminine Medicine Retreat happening in Poland during the powerful portal of Samhain. We're going to do ancestral work, we're going to do plant medicine work, we're going to do some beautiful feminine healing work. Also, we're going to do some leadership work. So if you are a woman in business, or wanting to start your own business, to wanting to enrich her visibility, her capacity to lead, all of this as a space holder, this experience is gonna really root you down to create beautiful blossoms in your life going forth. So this is my intention for you, and I'm sending you so much love.